invigorated vibe. I look, I'm always going to be a Raider fan, but like last 2 seasons, it was just I didn't like it, man. Like there was just that thing in the air. You know what I mean? Like there was just like there's just
Yeah.
it just didn't feel right. You know what I mean? And we all know how that turned out, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's just it's a breath of fresh air. Like
It is. It is.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, yeah, Leo. To answer your question too, like it's the coach too. You know, I feel like we definitely got the right person for the job. It just fits us. You know what I'm saying? Like he fits that Raider. You know, he's a Raider. So you know what I mean? Like he just and it's like it's not just a name just to make the fans happy. It's a dude that's put in the work. He's done it.
Right.
Yeah, man, he's a Brady killer. You know what I mean? Like, but
That's true, bro.
And a guy who genuinely embodies what it is to be a Raider. I mean, you saw how passionate he was, and even his opening, when his opening mission statement, like I was born, into this. I was born in Compton. I was born a Raider. You know what I'm saying? Like it was not just something that he was just saying to just G up the team. Like you can tell it comes with sincerity.
Yeah, it was more than just a raw.
He's a sincere Raider. Like that's a far cry from that last bunch that we had in the door. Patriot,
right?
Fuck out of here.
I know what it is to win. Like I know how to do it. Y'all just gotta follow me. Like man,
yeah. See, and then
I was like, hey McDaniel, what's your favorite food? Oh yeah, Boston Scrod.
No. He would give you these. He'd be like, well, there's good food, and then there's there's pastries, and then there's different kind of gumbos. It'll just take you on just like a loop. You're like,
that was literally his answer. Boston Scrod.
I forgot what game it was, and they were asking him something if there were any positives. We played like ass. It might have been the Chicago game. He's like, our special teams did well. I'm like, really?
Yeah. I felt like
we got beaten by a guy named Badgent.
Yeah.
What was he? An undrafted free agent?
Undrafted free agent, bro. Oh my god.
Badgent. The name says it all.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. And it's just I don't know. I was tired of his excuses. I was tired of the just circles.
I was just tired of those guys. Period.
Yeah.
Thank Christ they're gone.
Yeah.
The crazy part is his little attempt to get the locker room behind him with his little rah-rah meeting they had or whatever kind of backfired on his ass. Yeah.
Well, look, it all seems to maybe have been all a pleasant blessing in disguise because we may not have found the guy that we should have had, and now that we have in the door, you know what I mean? So this may not have come about if we didn't bring these numpties in the door. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Yeah, because he got
maybe a setback can be a setup for bigger, better things.
Right.
Yeah, they did bring in some good players too. I can't even knock that they did over this 2 years. Did bring in a couple decent players.
Spillane.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. There were some good picks. And we'll see what Tyree does. Or Tyler, as Tyler as I like to call him.
Last two draft classes, though, to me, it's still a little underwhelming. You know what I mean? We haven't had that breakout star from either draft class.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We've got a bunch of guys who either didn't pan out or they're all right / good, decent enough. But you know what I mean? Say what you will about Gruden and a lot of his first round draft picks in the Mayock regime, but we at least found some superstars and some cornerstones that were quite good for a while. You know what I'm saying?
They were like role players for us for a while. Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm still looking for that breakout player from the last two draft classes.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the dudes drafted this year start replacing the ones that were drafted by Ziegler and them last year. Like you talked about the safety earlier. Yeah. Like to me, that's the one who's out. Is that what is it, Chris Smith?
Chris Smith.
That's what I see too.
Where's he at? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Unless he's listening to us right now.
Guys like friggin' what's that cat? Malcolm Butler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can you guys do something? Get up out of here.
Yeah. He's gonna be on the block. Yeah.
Yeah. I see a lot. Yeah.
Do something or bounce.
Which is good too, because man, it's like and nothing against Chris Smith. It's just I see, if this is your chance, either you can take that spot or Trey Taylor's gonna come in there and take your lunch.
Yeah, Taylor.
Do something.
So much
Yeah.
hype with that
Just
kid.
do something.
Yeah. And we remember the last player that AP vouched for, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, if Trey Taylor can be the same as a Jack Jones, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm gonna take his people every time, you know what I mean? Because he's done it. That's the thing with AP. He's done it, and he's done it with the damnedest. Like that line that he played with in New York.
Ooh, that was a nasty D line, bro.
Nasty. You know what I mean? So he knows about hard. Yeah, Justin Tucker was Asa Umanora. I know I said that hella wrong. My bad.
Who was the one that blew off his finger?
Oh, JPJ.
JPJ
was it
John Pierre?
Yeah, damn, I forgot his first one too. Pierre Paul.
APP, wasn't it?
Yeah, JPP.
Justin Pierre Paul. Yeah,
there you go. Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Him.
Jason
He was
Pierre-Paul.
on that line.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason why they won a Super Bowl and beat the unbeatable Patriots, right?
Yeah. And if you remember that Super Bowl, bro, they were getting after Brady. You know what I'm saying? Like they were making it hard for Brady. That was one thing. And you actually just seen they weren't scared of him. They were trying to get that dude. So it's like he knows that look. He knows that mentality to get it done. So
and that was a Patriots team that was probably, even though they won Super Bowls in later years, I would say that Patriots team was probably the best they've had. Like in my team.
I think that was.
Even though they lost that game, you know that they were touted to be unbeatable that year, and somehow, some way, the Giants found a way to beat them.
Yeah, that season was incredible for them.
The best one.
Yeah, that was nuts. That Randy Moss, that Brady to Moss. I mean,
that was insane.
That was crazy. I was a big Moss fan. Like when he was in Minnesota, it just sucked how he came to us and gave us the least of his contribution. But I mean, he was a monster though. He found whatever he had lost when he came to us. He found it in New England.
Yeah, he went. That's when my football fandom started. I remember seeing Moss like balling out with the Patriots. I mean, he was up there with if not the best wide receiver in the league at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't know until when you start becoming a fan, you start to learn about the team that like Randy Moss was actually with us just before he went to the Patriots?
Oh yeah,
we traded him to the Patriots.
We traded. We got rid of his ass after.
I didn't know that until like down the line, you know what I mean? But I'm watching him like balling out with the Patriots and not thinking too much of it because he's not a Raider, right?
It was a whole new Randy because like when I remember that hit, he played the Patriots too, and he got whacked. It was like a Monday night game or a Sunday night game, and he got whacked and he had like a back contusion, and ever since then he never played. I never seen that man really do anything for us, like. And because he came, the first couple games, he was, showing that, we got Randy. We got
that first game, Kerry Collins hit him deep a couple times.
Yeah. And then he got whacked. And then after that, he was a shell. He was a shell of himself.
Yeah.
But he went over there. They lit it up, though. I mean, and it was so crazy because it was just Tom. All you see Tom is just, ugh. And then you just see...
You can see Randy go, ugh.
Yeah, like I remember
not to mention he had time for days. You know what I'm saying? Best quarterback of all time for days. One of the greatest wide receivers of all time. Where is he? Oh, there he is. I'll just wait for him to get open. There he is.
And if you guys remember that season and the highlights of those catches to him, he was triple catching over like there was 3 people on him, and he's still like mossing people, like you know what I mean. I'm just like he had 3 touchdowns and I think multiple. I want to say 2 to 3 games, something like where they were tearing it up.
Real numbers.
What did you just say? He was mossing people.
Yeah. Moss was moss. Like, hey,
isn't that where the term came from?
I mean, hey, it was so crazy just to see, like, because with 3 people on you, somebody's got to get hand. But he's just like, give me that little boy.
It's to my point though. We still use that term to this day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this guy mossed that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a reason behind it, and you just talk.
Yeah,
bro, it's still a term to this day. Whenever you see it happen, like even when Mayer did it to the Jets, remember he mossed them to get the ball. Like,
I was there for that one. That was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I feel I feel we're okay, guys. I feel like we're gonna get to the playoffs. I'm upset that KC got Worthy, just for the simple fact that was the one team I did not want to get him. I wanted him to go somewhere out of our division or with us.
But especially
maybe that can segue you to the guy we did take in round 4, DeCam Richardson.
DeCamerion. Now he was, like I said, he wasn't really on my scope until like the combine and the 40-yard dash. But I'm definitely who do you guys think has a better chance of him and Bennett?
Want to go first, Cheetah?
You know what? All right, I'm a Bennett fan. I like Bennett. I think he came in with a lot of hype. He had his little woes, got pulled here and there. I think he can still come back. He's got the speed. I'm hoping another year under the same regime will do him good and he'll come back better. But having drafted those other 2 corners with speed, kind of like lets us know that where the direction they were going. I was a big Amik fan. I get it. I like the Meek. But he didn't have that speed. He didn't have to be able to keep up with those dudes. So with these guys being able to come in, especially with the KC and that speed, that's killer. That's killer. So, but I mean, I hope it works out. I like the other corner actually more than I do DeCamerion.
Devonshire?
Yeah, Devonshire. Okay. I actually like Devonshire more. But I'm just hoping as a fan, I want Bennett to be able to progress and get better. But if he doesn't, at least we have these 2 other dudes who can hopefully come in and see what they can do.
Why do I think Lord of the Rings when I hear Devonshire? Like the Shire.
The Shire.
You're right.
The Shire.
Yeah, I definitely miss Amik too. Definitely I just like that he was a solid piece for what he was. Because when we got him, we were like, oh, dude, small guy and all this stuff, but he filled a good role on our team, like that role player. I didn't like him in Madden though. I don't know if you guys played, Madden.
Well, yeah, because you would get mossed by him because he was so little.
Oh my god!
They never really bumped up his grade higher than like a 70 or a 71. Even when he was at his best, like he deserved at least to be up there in the 75 region. Like if you're a grade 70, you're no good. The only thing you're good for is like taking the dime spot, and you're not even good at that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Like, do you guys have the experience too? Because I've noticed this. Whenever I played with DC, it just was a struggle. But when I play with AOC, I don't know. It seems like either they like AOC a lot better on Madden, but
no, I struggle with AOC, bro.
do you?
AOC's I haven't played with AOC, but I must say, like my best days with Madden was like, I mean, Derek Carr usually was like in the mid 80s range, especially around that 2016 when we had Crabtree and what's his name?
AC.
Why does his name escape me? Murray Cooper.
Murray Cooper.
Yeah. Murray Cooper. You know what I mean? But I was actually at my prime back in Madden 13 when we had Terrell Pryor at quarterback, and they actually bumped his rating up when he was actually throwing well at the start of the season to like an 85. At one point, he was rated better than Robert Griffin III in his second season.
As well as that high up, he was an 85.
Yeah, he was like in the mid 80s. He was actually doing they bumped him up, and he was almost god tier to use in that Madden. Like I was able to really utilize him well, and he did a lot of the things that I like to do. I like to do option plays, but back to what you're talking about with the cornerbacks. If I can get a chance to answer that, with you're asking who we like out of Bennett and
like who has
well, look with Ja'Cory Bennett, like look, a rookie. You know what I mean? Like he does have some attributes that I like we all like that speed. And I thought like the first couple of games, like for the most part, he was doing okay as that number 2 guy and making some plays, like pass deflections and that. However, his play did noticeably start to drop, and he started to lose some snaps, right? And I don't know if you've heard me talk about the jogging incident, but yeah, I don't want to see that again from a guy with 4.3 speed. It's one thing to give it. Look, every player gets burnt. You know what I mean? You could be Nnamdi Asomugha got burnt. You know what I'm saying? You're going to take your licks. It's just part of the game. You know what I mean? But it's what you do after that. You know what I'm saying? When the ball is still live, that I'm gonna notice. You know what I mean? And on this particular play, on a drag route, it was against the Steelers, and I believe it was against another rookie. Was it who's that wide receiver? Was that Pickett?
Pickens?
Or
Pickens, whoever. Like they're one of their rookie wideouts caught it on a drag. Jacorian Bennett was in pursuit, so he was the guy. He was right next to him, and so what happened next? What caught my attention was like Pickens was running away from him, and this is a guy who had 4.4 speed or something in the combine, the same combine as Jacorian Bennett, and Jacorian Bennett is jogging, letting him get away from him. The guy ended up gaining another 20 yards upfield before running out of bounds.
Right.
That's inexcusable for a guy with 4.3 speed. I don't want to see that happen again. You know what I mean? Like at least hustle to the play and show some effort, which brings me back to DeCam Richardson. Now, have you guys watched his tape?
Yeah. I've been watching it. Yeah.
Now that's the opposite of DeCam Richardson. This is a guy who's also a speedster, has good length and size, which I really like. But like, this is a guy who, when I've watched his tape, he's either making his tackles or hustling to the point of attack to try and make a play. You know what I mean? And that's all I ask. You know what I mean? The guy is a sure tackler. You know what I mean? Like he makes his tackles and brings them down. One particular rep I really liked was the game against LSU. I don't know if you watched that game, but like the full game highlights and having him circled like where he's at is on YouTube. And I watched it. Apparently it was one of his better games. And Jaden Daniels, you know, the guy we all wanted, he scrambled out of the pocket, and I believe it was a linebacker. He shook out of his boots. So he got past the linebacker. The next guy in line was DeCam Richardson. DeCam Richardson put the shot on, hit him out of bounds. And I was like, I like that. And I believe that's the game that like AP would have, or his scout team would have noticed, because they probably went there to scout Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
On him, or the wide receivers and whatnot.
Well,
and you know, they probably would have taken notes like, who is that guy? DeCam Richardson. So for me, like what I didn't get on that particular rep from Jacorian Bennett is the opposite of what I believe at the very least you're going to get. Like whether he can be like a playmaker on the ball or someone who can get you turnovers, like interceptions and that, like is to be seen. But he's at the very least going to be a sure tackler in run support and that. Or when a player is breaking away, he's going to make that tackle. So that's something I really like from DeCam, as well as his like physical attributes. He's a fast guy. He's got good size. Like he's actually taller than a lot of these other cats we bring in the room. Like he's 6'2". You know what I mean? So I do like that.
Yeah.
Like that dude, Kyrie Jackson, I think someone snatched him right before we were going to pick for one of those. And I'm hoping, I don't know for sure, but I'm hoping that's what was the direction they were going to go. Right. You know what I mean? And it just got kind of snatched because he was a big DB too. I feel like he was like 6'3", you know what I mean? Good size, 2+. So like,
yeah, but he didn't have the speed though. But yeah, he was a big guy. Yeah.
He's got the size, because usually these big the speedsters are like the smaller guys. Usually, like Jacorian Bennett's like he's the shade under 6 foot, isn't he? He's like 5'8".
He's like 5'10", 5'11", something like that. Yeah.
Now, remember we had DeMarcus Van Dyke, who was a 4'2", guy. He was like in that 5 foot something region.
Oh my God, Van Dyke! That's
right.
But never really panned up for us. But like, that's something I like even more so with Richardson. Like, he's tall and he's fast.
Yeah, one of our draft picks not working. That's crazy. I was like, man,
you know, Al Davis is not working out.
Right. Hey, there's a short list of ones that did make it, and then like we could go on for days with the ones
that didn't. Yeah.
Right. I was trying to reach out to Stanford Route, man. Like I wanted to kind of chop it up with him because like even though
he was a good corner,
bro.
Like
I felt
he was good as a number 2, but remember when we when Namdi left us.
Namdi left,
And we
yeah.
banked on, we paid Stanford out the money we should have given Namdi. And we banked on him being the number one guy, and he just wasn't it. I used to call him Stanford throw a freaking flag route. How many flags he got that year? My God.
Yeah, that's true. When we moved him to 1, it was a big difference.
It's like he was always getting beat, and whenever he did make a play, flag.
Yeah. That was a great point because he was a pretty good number 2, but then he was a horrible one.
And there's a big difference between being CB1 and 2. Like there's a big difference in what you got to do and your expectations. But AR made a good point with Richardson, because watching the tape, that was the one thing I didn't notice was his ability to go in and make a play and a tackle, not just cover it. But he would be like an all-in, even with both the corners we drafted. They'll go all up in there and make a play. Like no more of this Ole, Marcus Peters type shit.
Well, he led the league in tackle in the SEC in tackles, I believe,
which was crazy when you think about it, right?
150 tackles in his last 2 years. Yeah, Ole. But yeah, you're not going to get that with DeCam Richardson. Like he's the opposite of the Marcus Peters, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just going to come down to can we coach him up to not just be a tackle kind of guy, but also a playmaker, you know what I mean? Like that's going to be the coach's job to get him up to speed. Because if he can become a playmaker, then he could be the total package. I mean, shit. Right?
Yeah. So hopefully one of these guys can step up, if not both.
Right.
And let me see who was. Eckenberg. I think we talked about. We talked about Eckenberg. Yeah. That was. I felt like we jumped back on board after that pick. The Cameron one was a good one too because I wanted a DB for sure. So
the more I think about the DeCam Richardson pick, the more I like it.
Yeah. I feel like that pick because the Delmar Glaze was kind of like I don't know. But
was like.
But the Richardson and the Eckenberg put us right back on track. I felt like that was.
I think it's similar to Bowers. Like I had to kind of marinate on it a little bit, do some research, and then think about it. And the more I speak out loud with you guys, like, you know what, I actually am liking it more and more now that I'm speaking out loud what I'm thinking. So this could be another Nate Hobbs type deal where we picked a cornerback in that mid to late round and we hit on him. But anyway, sorry, continue with them. Eichenberg.
Yeah. No, I like the pick. I'm pretty sure he was on most of our, mock drafts at some point. But, getting some good competition in the LB room. Diablo can miss a game or two, So it's kind of good to have somebody that can kind of jump in there and plug in. We've used Masterson. I think the best. We've got the best out of Masterson. Just over this couple years, just because of us not having depth in that position. And it's like I said, Diablo kind of finds the sidelines a lot. And we've needed this for so long. We got Bernie last year, so now it's like you kind of compare basically Eckenberg versus Bernie.
Yeah,
because you're gonna say who's gonna take that step. Because we got Bernie. Is Bernie going to step up? Or is Eckenberg? I mean, even though they're different positions, technically.
Well, they're the same position, just a different style of linebacker. But I'm not sold on this. I was never sold on this. Bernay Cat since we brought him in the door, and I'm still not sold on it. Another guy is like, show me something.
Yeah. I don't think we'll have a weekend at Bernie's ever. So
never.
Yeah, but so it's like you said, a lot of these guys are going to get bumped out. I think Chris Smith might get bumped out. I think Bernie.
With the Eckenberg, I call him Iceberg. I think he's going to take over for that linebacker spot, bro.
I like that though, Iceberg.
He's going to take over because he played that in Ohio State. They do the whole 2 linebacker scheme. Instead of the traditional 3. So he's familiar with that role. I mean, the knock is his coverage, but so was Spillane.
Right.
And I've seen we've seen some picks. We've seen Spillane get some picks.
The other knock I hear on Eichenberg from, I can't remember who it was. It was in my chat who's a Ohio State fan. He might be in this chat, might be Circus or Tony or Raider Pete. they were letting me know that they're an Ohio State fan, and while they like Eichenberg, one of his other problems is shedding blocks.
Okay.
Like, he had kind of the and this is going to be my flaw comparison with Tommy Eichenberg, Ben Heaney kind of vibes. Remember Ben Heaney?
Yeah,
the linebacker we drafted who had good sideline to sideline speed, could make some tackles, but couldn't shed blocks to save his life. Yeah. And I think with Eichenberg, it's going to be, he could either turn out to be Robert Spillane 2.0 or Ben Heaney 2.0.
Ooh, hoping Spillane.
I say Spillane. I like Spillane. Yeah, like a young.
Yeah, look, I'm hoping so. I'm just saying, worst case scenario, it could be another Ben Heaney situation.
No.
Let's hope not.
Hope not. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like this.
But who knew? Like we took a lot. We drafted a linebacker who for the most part excelled at linebacker at collegiate level, who played linebacker at the collegiate level.
Yeah.
Who's going to play linebacker in the NFL? Hallelujah!
He wasn't a safety converted to a
turn into a linebacker and do this, that, and the third.
He's not a safety. We're trying to convert.
Yeah. He wasn't a punter converted to a linebacker
or a long snapper,
a quarterback converted to a kicker.
Yeah, it's crazy. There was somebody. Do you guys remember? I don't even remember who took him, but I think it's
Jeremiah Trotter.
No, it was a tight. No, it was he a? No, he's a wide receiver, but he's like 6'6", but they're talking about they were going to convert him to a tight end. That was one I kind of, if we didn't take Bowers in the first, I would have definitely liked to take him because he was compared to Waller.
The dude from Florida State?
Yes.
Johnny Wilson?
Johnny Wilson, bro. I was, because when I'm watching, I was like, damn, this would, because in my drafts, usually like by maybe the 5th round is kind of my tight end. I'm trying to get like a tight end or something like that. And then it was around that time, and I'm like, dang, this dude's still on the board too. And then his comp was Waller. You know what I mean? Because he's 6'6", he's a wide receiver. But
was that this draft class?
This was this last draft. And he went to, I forgot who the hell he went to, but I was like, damn,
I can't remember who drafted him.
Yeah. So you still were wanting him, even though we drafted Brock Bowers.
No, it just
I've been trying to say it that way too.
If we didn't go Brock, I felt like we could have got him later on and then converted him too. But I like what we did at the tight end position.
Guess who took him?
Who was it?
The Eagles.
They got everybody too. They got all the DBs. They got
him at 185. Yep.
That's crazy. Yeah, that would have been nice because that would have gave us like a little. It would have gave us a little bit of both because we would have had that big ass wide receiver and we would have had a possible tight end conversion. You know what I mean? So it would have gave us a kind of.
Where would that leave Michael Mayer if we drafted him?
Oh,
in the dust. There you are, Michael Mayer. Don't worry about you.
But that would have been if we didn't get Bowers because it would have been like a late round. I think we could have got a steal late in the draft, with that position. But like I said, we went Bowers, so it is what it is. But I was just kind of when he was floating out there because he's really a wide receiver. Like his position is wide receiver, but he's 6'6", and he's pretty much the size of. In fact, they said him and Darren Waller had the same measurables for the combine, like speed, the vertical, pretty much they were the similar. So that was his comparison, which I was like, ooh, that's kind of we can use that like a wild card.
Speaking of Waller, I hope he's doing all right. Did you guys hear the news of the breakdown of his marriage?
Yeah, they're getting divorced. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and apparently it was not amicable. And I saw some TikTok videos of Darren Waller doing these kind of attention-seeking kind of. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on with Waller. Like, I'm not going to start rumors, but there has been a history there in the past, and now that like his NFL career is kind of in shambles and the marriage is over, like I hope he's doing all right.
Yeah, me too. I was when I saw that, I was like, man, I hope he don't relapse or something like that. Like,
right?
You guys think he's smoking crack again?
I hope not, man.
No, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not going to start rumors, but it's just like the breakdown of his marriage, these kind of attention-seeking TikToks, and the fact that his NFL career looks like it might be over, and the way that it was written as well. You know what I mean? How what was his wife's name? The
Kelsey Plum.
Kelsey,
yeah, she's fit as fuck. But
Mhm.
she put out like that. Yeah, woo. Come holler at me, Kelsey.
Hey, you're like, hey,
come holler
They
at
are
your boy.
shooting a shot, dude.
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, like she was like, I won't share my story for now, but like it, yeah. I mean, read the room. It just didn't. It seems like there's something going on there, but I just hope he's doing all right.
Waller was going to them Diddy parties, and Kelsey found out. Yeah. So I think from that, I think from now on, Mr. Waller will probably never come on my podcast now. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just playing. I hope the best for him. He was one of my favorite Raider tight ends, even though he couldn't stay on the field because of injuries. But he was definitely an exciting player. Definitely was a change in the game for sure.
Look, at his best, he was top 3 tight ends in the league. And there was a period where he was like on the field, like, quite a bit, like 2019, 2020. We saw Darren Waller at his best, even 2021. It didn't end well with Waller, but like I would rather look back and remember the good times. Because I mean, like, Waller was a guy we plucked from a practice squad who was
from Baltimore Ravens practice squad.
You know what I mean? So with all things considered, we got a steal. You know what I mean? And a guy who carried on the legacy that we've had that I talked about of